Hello again. This is the third of our series, or video series, on the growth of Procom. It's still the early 1980s. The economy is very poor as we move into our first office at 160 Eglinton Avenue East. Since I had space, I started trying to fill it up with people. I hired a receptionist, assistant with me, and interviewed people to work on the 360 desks. Dave Mahood was our first hire. Dave knew the oil industry, he knew the people, he knew their processes, and he was successful in getting us on the list, suppliers list, for Imperial Oil. We stayed on that list for the better part of 30 years, and we still have people working at Imperial Oil. Dave referred me to George Wall. George Wall was another former manager from IOL, CA. He left and formed his own accounting business. George and I spent hours talking about contract labor, the applicability of tax, and our vision of independent contractors servicing the market. George went on to form the firm CA4IT and was a significant player in the IT industry development within Canada. He continues to be active in the market today. Brian Bell is another name from the past. Brian was a manager at Hydro who heard about what we were doing at Procom, resigned from Hydro, started with us, and was extremely successful. Brian Bell's successor came and went in a reasonably short period of time. I noted that he had a meeting with Toyota. I didn't have a clue what it was about or who it was with. However, I had the date and time, so I went. When I arrived, the receptionist was unbelievably helpful. She figured the meeting was with a chap named Errol Jardine, and so she arranged for him to come out and collect me. Errol didn't have a clue who I was meeting with, and but he brought me back to the office and walked me in and introduced me to Bruce Shubschel. My meeting was supposed to be with Mr. Shubschel. That's the good news. The bad news is, since I didn't know what the meeting was about, I started talking to him, and he left me hang there and squander like a fish on a hook. Bruce finally clued me in that he had a project that he wanted me to bid on it. He was aware that we'd done some work over at Honda. He thought we had some automotive experience and felt we could do a good job. A few weeks later, we proposed a dream team of people. Some were former contractors from Honda who had auto experience. Others were people who had superior technical experience. There were 6 people in all. The bid was for $360,000. At the $200,000 mark, we closed the deal. Everyone was happy. It was an unqualified success. Bruce called me in and told me that he could give me a check for $160,000. I told him that we were working on a T&M basis. At least I thought we were on a T&M basis. The check was not mine to take. Bruce said, "Well, if that's the case, I've got money to spend here. Would you take on these other work and get it done?" And so I started doing work on the list of projects that he had. We completed that list successfully. On the basis of that, Bruce was promoted from manager to vice president, and it began a very long relationship with Bruce until he resigned. We had a very long relationship with Bruce until he retired. We've had a long-term relationship with Toyota ever since. We continued to be a prime supplier to Toyota Canada. Our numbers soon exceeded 60 people.